Okay, today we're going to have a look at MapInfo, and in particular how we can create a SQL query to actually select from postcode sectors a list of postcodes which we have stored in Excel. So if I just open up MapInfo here, these are all of the postcode sectors. Now clearly that's too big a file to be working with, and actually what I just want is a selected subset in this area here. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at how we can actually create that and save it as a separate tab file, so that in future we don't have to open up this sectors file. Okay, the first thing we need to do is we need to see that we have the other file open, which is essentially it's just an Excel file. So I've just opened this one up here, and if I just show you what's in there, it's just simply a list of postcodes which we're interested in. So rather than looking at every single postcode, those are the ones we're interested in. So what I want to do is I want to select from here the ones that are in my Excel spreadsheet. So I need to make sure I'm in this table here, and I then go to my query and I'm going to do SQL select, and I want to select all columns. Basically what I want to select from is the table sectors where the condition, the column, now you see here it only has the object or the name in it, so I need to choose a different table, which is this one here, and the column, when I come down here, the column is the that one there, the sectors. Yep. But what I need to do is my condition needs to say where the sector name equals that there. So my sector name is the same as it is in my Excel spreadsheet. Yep. I do have the two files open, or the two tables open, so where it says from tables, these both need to be open before I can do this. Now let's just have a look and verify that. The syntax is okay. I want to find the results in the current map window. I don't need to browse them. So I click on OK, and that has now highlighted all of those within the area of interest. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say File, Save Copy As, because the thing I want to save is now my selection. So I save as, and I'm just going to call this relevant area. Click on Save, and now I can close all. So File, Close All. So I have no tables open, but when I open now this time, I open just my relevant area, and it opens just the area that I had selected. And what I can also do here is I can create labels on my relevant area which show all the postcodes. Now I could obviously play around with the labeling settings, or if I wanted to create a new label, if I go into the table here, what I can do is, if you look, you'll see there are two columns, one called name, the other called postcode sectors, and they should have the same information in them. Yep. But what I need to do is I need to go in here and just manage this table a little bit. So I'm going to say table maintenance, table structure. This first one is 254 characters long. Let's just take that down to 10 characters long and click OK. And now if I look back at that table, you'll see side by side, you'll see that they match clearly. And I can also create a new map which is showing me that region again. Again, I can label them, but this time if I go into the mapper, what I can do is I can go into the table maintenance, table structure, and I could add a field. So rather than calling it field 3, I can call it label, and I can give it a 20 character width and say OK. And again, each time I do this, each time I make changes to the table structure, I need to then re-show my fields. So I can show the browser again, and let me just show this one. So I'm just going to click on label in there, and I'm going to select it so that when I go back to the map view, it's selected down there. And what this means is that I can actually zoom in on this area, and you'll see that's the one that was selected. Now if I choose to do the labeling, I can choose what it's labeled with. So I can choose it to be labeled with the column that I added in, which is called label. So otherwise there was name, postcode, sectors. Now there is label. Yeah. So I can use label there, and I can click OK. And as soon as I do that, this is now labeled with the word label. Yeah. And you'll see why I selected that, just so that I could see where that particular region was. Now clearly in this instance you wouldn't want to use label. Yeah, you would want to use one of the postcodes. So if I go back into there, I just double click on the text, go back to label display, and I'm going to name it with name. They're all now labelled with the name of the postcode area. I can also do various different things. I can go back in here into the label display and just change where the labels appear. So for the default position, yeah, we can choose a variety of different default positions if we want to. We can also go to the labeling rules and say when the overlap occurs, try other positions. Yep. I'm going to say don't allow the duplicate text, and just here we can click OK. Additionally, what I can do is, you see how where that label there is labelled on the centroid, I can just click and drag to move it around. So again with that one, I click once to select it, then click and drag just to move it around. If I now save this as a workspace, so if I save the workspace, what this will do is it will also remember the positions of the ones that I moved away from the centroid. I hope that's been useful. I hope it answered your question. This is Oakley, and thank you for listening.